of you for 5 days Atal FDP on Essentials of Machine Learning on behalf of CDEC Noida. We are very grateful and thankful to AICT for giving us the opportunity to conduct this FDP. Mark Anderson told in 2011 that software is eating the world. Today, it seems that machine learning and its specialized algorithm are eating the software world. Is it thus a conclusion that machine learning will play a significant role in disruptive technologies and shaping our future? I'm sure.
Warm welcome to all the participants to this FDP entitled Essentials of Machine Learning, organized by CDEC Noida. Machine learning is transforming human life and the world. The intelligent systems, machines, and softwares are helping out the humans in almost every field. In this FDP, various aspects of machine learning will be covered from the basics to the advanced by the experts from various premier institutes of our country like IITs, DRDO, RECs, Bennett University, and CDEC. Hopefully, this FDP will help the participants in understanding the important concepts of machine learning and apply them in various fields, resulting in a better future. This is a 5 days FDP program with 3 sessions every day from December 13th, that is today, to December 17th, 2021, covering many important and emerging aspects of machine learning and related areas like deep learning, natural language processing, mathematics for machine learning, hyperparameter tuning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, hands-on using Python and Orange tool. And then I would like to say to all of you to please enjoy.
Principal, participants, and my colleagues. I have an important point to mention here for the participants. Kindly note that attendance, the test that would be conducted at the on the last day of the FDP, and the feedback submission. These 3 are mandatory for issuance of participation certificate for this FDP. So kindly note that you are attending the sessions regularly, you appear for the test, and you also submit the feedback form on time. Now, it's my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of CDAC Noida and the entire organizing team, extend a very hearty thanks and gratitude to AICT for approving and providing support to organize Atal FDP on Essentials of Machine Learning. I am thankful to our senior members, our ED, GC Education and Training, Principal Madam, for providing encouragement and giving us this opportunity. I extend my thanks to our participants for overwhelming response and also their parent institutes. I take this opportunity to thank all the experts who would be taking sessions in this FDP for taking time out of their busy schedule and accepting our invitation and for being part of this FDP. My thanks also go to all my team members, Mr. Rahul Mishra, Mr. Saurabh Chabra, Ms. Kiran Walia, and Mr. Saeed for all their efforts. I once again thank everyone who has contributed in this FDP. I'm sure that the participants would be benefited by attending this FDP. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Behind these systems was the mathematical logic. So, how was the mathematical logic constructed? There were fundamentally 2 things. One is called the proposition. Another thing is called the predicates. So, what is the proposition? Proposition is
which are used not only in regression but also in classification models. One is that you train and test on the same data, but in this case you might have high training accuracy, that your model will try to learn a lot of things from your training data set, but it will have low out of sample accuracy. Now, what is meant by this high training accuracy is that because you are training your model on the same data, it has learned from this data, and now you're testing also on the same data. So there's a possibility that the model overfits. It will try to learn, say if this is your data spread, it will try to learn each and every specific feature that is specific to this given data set. And in doing so, it will not be able to generalize. It will generate a data model which is non-generalized, which will not be able to adapt to, or which will not be able to be suitable to other data sets from the similar domain. That is called as out of sample. Fine. Out of samples means.
See, I'm just writing sentence. Okay, maybe that I should write sentence 1. Okay, and in this sentence, what I'm writing is so what will happen over here is, like, suppose if I just execute this line, and then I just want to know that I want these maybe that I want these individual words. Okay, so that also we can get very easily by using just a second, sentence 1 will be telling by itself. I hope that it should tell. It told. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will be using this split operation. Okay, let's see that what we will get as an output over here. Okay, so we've got a list. Okay, we have got a list and we have got the individual words over here. Okay, so this is the thing, and maybe that if I want individual characters, okay, that too we can get. Okay, and if suppose instead of these
only with the help of only 2 nodes, then huge information loss is there in this section. Huge information loss is there, and definitely if you will lose the information, then you cannot get a remarkable accuracy. So always remember, based on the number of nodes in previous layer, you have to select or you have to identify the hidden units in the next layer. Now
this is your input feature map, right? So assume the size of feature map is 224 cross 224 cross 64, right? So there are 64 channels. So assume you have 64 channels, and width and height is 224 cross 224. So the input feature map size is 224 cross 224 cross 64, and there are 64 channels in this input feature map, right? So if you apply any standard convolutional filter over this input feature map, then the size of that standard convolutional filter will be 3 cross 3 cross 64, right? Because the standard convolution filter applies all channels simultaneously, right? So therefore the size
represent them separately. Okay, I do not want a line graph for this. Okay, so I want to represent them separately. So which graph do you think is most preferable in this case? Which graph? Yes, anyone?
Bar graph.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, correct, absolutely correct. Bar graph is something which is needed over here. Okay, bar graph. So we can use the bar graph, and for that plt dot. Okay, for bar graph we have this bar. Okay, and in this bar, what we can do is we can have this as the first attribute as ename. Sorry, ename. Second is eCell. We just plotting this, and what else we can do is we can just provide it with a title also. Okay, so plt dot title. Let's mention. Just a second. Of employees. Okay, so in this way what we have trained is we have got a bar graph, and actually it's helping us
here, or whether there is a neural network model is there. Okay, there is always a scope of the improvement. Okay, and that is precisely the takeaway in this particular, you can say, saying that there is always a scope of improvement is there. Okay, so so specifically, so what I'm saying that whether
class is 0 and the KNN predicted it as the 0 is 113 samples are there. 130 samples are there. Basically, that belongs to true positive. Okay. 87 samples basically that are basically belongs to class 1 and the KNN predicted it as a 1. Okay. 51 samples are originally actually they belong to class 0, but the KNN misclassified it as a 1. Okay. Again, the 52 samples are there that belong to class 1, but KNN misclassified it as a class 0. So overall confusion metrics are like this one for a KNN
format. Whenever you use some vector file, for example, GeoJSON or database record, so data will be represented in WKT format. For example, PostGIS or MySQL, if you store data, it will be generally stored in WKT, the well-known text and well-known binary format. So here point is represented by string point with bracket coordinates in the bracket. Floating point number also can be used. Line string, you see comma separated values. Polygon, in the polygon also you see comma separated values with each side. And if number of sides will be more, this bracket will increase. Then we have multi-point also. Multi-point means if there are branches in the line. So in the multi-point you see several brackets are there.
Optimize routing in wireless network using a machine learning technique. We use a machine learning algorithm, namely KNN, the K nearest neighbor, a supervised learning algorithm. We use a support vector machine, the SVM, again a supervised learning algorithms, and the ML, multinomial logistic regression technique to predict the network type of the source and the destination nodes. So what we will do, we will see in the upcoming slide that we will identify the network type of the source and the destination node. So we'll start the project towards the classification and then we'll use it to find the better path. I don't say the most optimized path, but yes, the better path for carrying out the routing. The ML model is
introduction of layer, one more layer. Introduction.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so that's what the answer I was expecting. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so we can include more layers. Okay, we could include more layers into the model. Let's try to include few more layers. Okay, so over here, the first thing is, see what we had was, we know that the output layer will have 10 neurons. Okay, in this case, what we did, we considered that the output layer will have 10 neurons. Okay, and we actually
tokenization. I am using Stanford tokenizer and tokenize the sentence. So this is all the sentences converted into token, and each token is in lowercase.
Connections is just symbolic. We need to identify who all are the neighbors. That's why these connections have been made. Okay. So it is like a point here, and then there is a plate, and from point all the rays are going to all the plates. And these are our neural components. Now, each neural component has weight, and this one has, let's say, x1, y1. Suppose it is this point is two-dimensional only, and each one has weights. Now, aim is to find the distance x1 minus y1, w1 square plus y1 minus w2 square under root. This is the distance between this point and this point. Similarly, distance with all the points will be found. And then with whichever neural component, if suppose the distance for this one comes out to be minimum for this particular point, okay, then this particular point will try and bring itself closer to this one by adjusting the weights. So actually what we have done, we have adjusted the weights. We initialized each of the component each of the neural component with some initial weights, let's say this and this.
And every human being has his own Kundalini, and that Kundalini is there by birth within that person, but that is in dormant form, that is in sleeping form. When we pray for it, that Kundalini is awakened, and then it rises up and meets the all-pervading power around us, and we can feel it on the top of our head as well as on both the palms. So shall we go for practical meditation now? Because this is the theoretical part which was necessary to understand how Kundalini is necessary for meditation and how we can feel it. So for that, we just have to give these 10 minutes. Whatever we have discussed till the moment, even if you haven't understood.
Once you submit, it won't be possible to submit the responses again. Okay.
Only there is one submit button in the form at the end of the question paper. Is it all right?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
We are not getting the link.
I have just emailed you.
Can we start?
I have emailed the link for the test.
You have got the link. Can we start the test straight away?
Yes, because this link will stop accepting the responses at 5:15 to sharp.